From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the news blast for this hour. In his first half year in office, amid his tariff campaign, government slashing moves, and immigration crackdown, President Donald Trump has also repeatedly delivered for conservative Christians, who form the bedrock of his Republican support. While he has made overtures to Jewish, Muslim, and other religious groups, his Christian supporters have been among his most high-profile surrogates and appointees. The Trump administration has greenlit political endorsements from the pulpit and encouraged religion in the federal workplace. Trump has established faith-focused entities with numerous influential Christian appointees. He's energized supporters with assaults on cultural and academic targets, long seen as liberal bastions. His administration and his Supreme Court appointees have expanded areas for religious exemptions and expression in the public square. We're bringing back religion in our country, Trump contended at a Rose Garden event on the National Day of Prayer in May. His faith advisor, Pastor Paula White-Cain, proclaimed that in his administration, faith has been brought back to where it belongs, and that is center. Critics say he's eroding the separation of church and state. The ones celebrating this are the ones leaning toward this Christian nationalist bent, this ideology that Christians should have dominion over the United States government, said the Reverend Shannon Fleck, Executive Director of Faithful America, a progressive Christian group. A president with a true Christian agenda would be most concerned with uplifting those in our country who have been cast aside, she said. The most vulnerable among us are not billionaires. Those most vulnerable among us are not these manipulators of Christianity that are seeking nothing but power. For a moment of commentary, consider the United States is not a theocracy and must not be allowed to devolve into one. People should be free to worship or not as they see fit. Those conservative Christian values have turned women into baby incubators by restricting abortion to the point that women's lives are at risk, even if the fetus does not stand any chance of living outside the womb. The right-wing conservative Christians want to eliminate the existence of the LGBTQ plus community, to the point that pastors and state representatives in Texas are calling on LGBTQ plus people to kill themselves. Here's some ways Trump has repaid his supporters, particularly conservative evangelicals and Catholics. There have been crackdowns on transgender identity and treatment. Trump has cracked down on transgender identity and medical treatment, long targets of religious conservatives. He signed an executive order on his first day in office recognizing only male and female as biologically determined sexes. Another order aimed to eliminate federal support for gender-affirming care for young people, which several medical institutions have already discontinued. Still another order aimed to ban transgender athletes from girls' and women's sports. The University of Pennsylvania, under a federal civil rights investigation, modified school records previously set by transgender swimmer Leah Thomas and said it would apologize to female athletes disadvantaged by her participation. They've targeted Planned Parenthood. Trump signed a budget legislation article aimed at cutting Medicaid payments to Planned Parenthood, the nation's biggest abortion provider and a longtime target of Christian conservative groups. U.S. law already bars federal funding for abortion, but these latest cuts target other services offered by the organization, such as contraception and cancer screenings. Trump in January pardoned anti-abortion activists who had been convicted of blockading abortion clinic entrances. And let's not forget the culture war. Trump launched a wide-ranging culture war against universities, museums, public broadcasters, and other institutions. These targets have long been accused of liberal bias by religious and other conservatives, even though specific grievances and circumstances varied. Trump has cut funding, forced out officials, or otherwise demanded changes at the Smithsonian Institution, the Library of Congress, the Kennedy Center, and the National Endowment for Humanities. He signed a congressional action slashing funding for public broadcasting. The Trump administration also cut research funding at several elite U.S. colleges, some of which have offered financial payments and other concessions to his political agenda in an effort to regain funding. It has also worked to suppress diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at government agencies and private corporations. And folks, that's News Blast at this hour. If you're watching our videos on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. Download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.